This October BTO launch will be historical. Why? Because it's when the new flat classification will take into effect. Instead of the previous mature or non-mature labels, they will be using prime, plus, and standard to reflect the location's amenities and overall desirability. It's a big deal because prime and plus come with more restrictions such as a 10-year MOP, subsidy clawback upon resale, and the inability to rent out the whole flat even after MOP, etc. Your future potential buyers are also greatly reduced because there is an income ceiling for the future resale flat buyers, and PR couples cannot buy because there has to be at least one Singaporean buyer, etc. All of these measures indirectly meant to tame down the resale price in the future. If you buy a plus or prime flat, it will be much tougher to get a windfall profit than before. When I take a look at the 14 BTO projects that will be offered, I predicted most of them will fall under prime or plus, making only less than half of them will be offered as standard BTO projects with the typical restrictions as we now know. And this is why these two BTO projects in Sengkang might be hidden gems. Most likely, these two projects will be categorized as standard flats. However, if you take a closer look, they actually have an LRT station within walking distance, and the surrounding areas are also already built up with amenities. Yes, they are far from the CBD area, but if they only have the standard 5-year MOP, you can either resell it or rent out the whole unit after MOP, making it your first pot of gold in your property journey. By the way, just so that we are clear, this whole video is my opinion only and not financial or investment advice. I'm just some random person on YouTube with a funny accent. I mean, what do I know, right? Okay, back to the topic. An ulu-ulu area doesn't mean that you cannot profit, Stack Homes did an analysis where they ranked the most profitable BTO projects. Profitable here as in how many percent on average did the seller make from reselling the unit versus the purchase price. For example, Fernvale Grove at Sengkang's average 4-room BTO price was around $145,000, but after MOP, on average, it was resold to the open market for more than $509,000, making a gain of 250%. The Sundial at Punggol East also gained around 230% as their BTO average launch price is just above $150,000, while the average transaction price was above $520,000. The same goes with Atrina BTO, which is also located around Sengkang, which on average gained 228% compared to the purchase price. The common theme of these three profitable BTOs is they were purchased at a very affordable price of under $200,000, and interestingly, all of them are located in the Northeast region. Is this a coincidence? Well, if we extrapolate and look at the whole list, the top 15 most profitable BTOs are mostly located in the Northeast region. The legendary Pinnacle at Duxton only stands at number 18. Again, we are talking about the percentage of gain, not the absolute profit amount. If you want to talk about the absolute dollar amount, of course, Pinnacle at Duxton profited more, but because the purchase price was also high, this makes the percentage of gain smaller. So now, let's take a closer look at the two Sengkang BTO projects that will be launched this October. The first Sengkang BTO project site is located between Fernvale Close and Sengkang West Avenue. It will have around 550 units with different flat types offered from 2-room flexi to 5-room flats. It is also within walking distance to Layar LRT station, which is 3 stops away from Sengkang MRT station. Some of the flats will also have a water view of the Punggol River, and you can also cycle or jog along the Punggol West Bank Park connector easily. In terms of amenities, the Seletar Mall is around the corner, as well as the Fernvale Community Club, which has its own integrated hawker center, wet market, and childcare center. Alternatively, of course, you can take the train or bus to Sengkang area for larger shopping malls. The famous Jalan Kayu eateries are also a short bus ride away. In terms of surroundings, this BTO site is next to 4 condos or EC. The condos are River Trees Residences, H2O Residences, Riverbank at Fernvale, while the EC next to this BTO site is the Lush Acres EC. For parents, there are quite a lot of primary and secondary schools within the 2-kilometer radius, so this area is actually quite suitable for a young family. Okay, now let's review the second Sengkang BTO site, which is sandwiched between the Fernvale Street and Tampines Expressway. This site is bigger and will house around 840 units. Interestingly, they won't have any 3-room flats and only offer 2-room flexi, 4-room and 5-room flats. The location is a little bit tucked in the corner and you would have to take a longer walk or take the bus either to Tanggam LRT station or Kupang LRT station, which then connects you to the Sengkang MRT station. This area is definitely less developed than the first Sengkang BTO site. Although you are closer to the Jalan Kayu eateries, there are no malls within walking distance, so you would have to take a bus or train ride. For the time being, this site is still surrounded by empty plots, but note that across the expressway, the site is already reserved for potential industrial usage. There will be a health and medical care center around the block in the future, but it's not yet built. There are a few schools within the 2-kilometer radius, but just not as many. If you are planning to apply for this BTO, I would suggest picking a unit that is not facing the expressway because based on my personal experience, the noise and dust level can be overwhelming. It might also lower your resale flat value in the future when you are ready to sell. The units that are facing the temple might also be more difficult to sell later on, even though you are personally okay with it, but it might be a consideration for some buyers in the future. Personally, I think the first Sengkang BTO site is just way better. Why? Well, it's closer to the train station, the surrounding area is more developed, it's far from the expressway, some units will have an unblocked view of the Punggol River, and it has more flat type options. It will also have more school selections. When I recorded this video, the price list hadn't been announced by HDB yet, but I'm guessing these two Sengkang BTO projects will have similar prices. The second Sengkang site should be slightly cheaper, but considering everything, my money will still be on the first Sengkang project. These two Sengkang BTO projects might not be million-dollar resale flat producers, at least for now, but if your intention is to have a starter home in your property journey, these two projects are definitely worth considering. If you can get a 4-room or 5-room flat from the first Sengkang project that faces the river and is located at a high level, I think it should be very easy to sell the unit after MOP. Looking at the historical data around the area, I predicted the average sellers could probably profit around $300,000 to $400,000 depending on the unit, or probably even more if your unit is very desirable. Again, these are all just my personal opinion and speculation only. Please do your own research before making a decision. If you would like to get a sneak peek about the upcoming BTO launch, please click the link on the top right corner or in the description box below, as I have discussed them in other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!